Mina wiped the counter with a tired hand. It was almost midnight, and the diner was still half full. The smell of cheap fried food hung in the air. Her feet hurt, her back ached, but she kept working. She didn't have a choice. Rent was due in 4 days, and her daughter Ria was sick again. Ria was only 6 years old. She had soft brown eyes and a gentle voice. But for the past few weeks, her small body had been burning with fever. The doctor said it was because of the air in the lower districts. After the alien industries moved in, many kids like Ria got strange sicknesses. But medicine was expensive, too expensive for a waitress making minimum credits. That night, Mina had no one to watch Ria. Her usual neighbor had moved out. She couldn't leave Ria alone. So she wrapped her daughter in 2 blankets and brought her to work. "You can sleep in the back room," Mina whispered as they entered the diner. "I'll check on you every hour." Ria nodded, too weak to say anything. Mina kissed her forehead, then went out to take orders with a forced smile. The other staff didn't say much. Everyone had problems. Mina had worked here for 3 years. She was quiet, worked hard, and never caused trouble. But she knew the manager, Mr. Holtz, had no patience. He didn't care about anyone's story. At 1 a.m., Mina took a short break. She brought a cup of warm water to the back room where Ria was resting on a pile of old coats. Her daughter looked pale. Her lips were dry. "Just a little longer, baby," Mina said softly. "I promise I'll take you home soon." But as she turned around, the door swung open. Mr. Holtz stood there, frowning. His sharp eyes moved from Mina to the little girl on the coats. "What is this?" he snapped. Mina stood still. "Please." "Sir, I didn't have anyone to watch her. She's sick." "She won't bother anyone. I don't care," he shouted. "This is a workplace, not a daycare." Mina tried to speak, but he raised his hand. "You're done here, Mina. Get out. Don't come back." Her heart dropped. "Sir, please. I need this job. I won't bring her again. Just give me 1 more week." "No," he said coldly. "You're fired." Tears filled Mina's eyes, but she didn't argue anymore. She went to pick up her daughter. Ria looked up weakly. "Are we going home, Mama?" "Yes, baby," she whispered. The other waiters stared as Mina walked out with her child in her arms. No one said a word. The cold air outside hit her face like a slap. It was raining now, thin, dirty rain that always fell in New London's lower zones. She held Ria close and walked through the streets, not knowing where to go or what to do. Next stop, the streets were quiet. Neon signs blinked above silent shops. Drones buzzed overhead, scanning the roads for crime. Mina avoided the scanners. She wasn't doing anything wrong, but the machines didn't care. They didn't understand kindness or fear or hunger. Her shoes were soaked. Her stomach growled. She hadn't eaten since morning. But all she cared about was finding shelter for Ria. They reached their small 1-room flat. The door barely locked. The heater worked only half the time. She laid Ria down on the thin mattress, wrapped her in a blanket, and sat beside her. "I'm sorry, Ria," she whispered. "I'll find something, I promise." Ria coughed lightly but didn't speak. She was too tired. Mina looked out the window. The city lights shimmered in the rain. Flying cars passed by above, carrying rich people to warm homes and soft beds. She didn't hate them. She didn't have time to hate anyone. All she wanted was a way to keep her daughter safe. She leaned back, closing her eyes for just a second. That's when she heard something outside, like someone falling. She stood up quickly, looked through the window, and saw a figure lying on the sidewalk. Without thinking, she grabbed an umbrella and rushed outside. The man was unconscious, his clothes soaked, his face pale. He looked human but had strange metal pieces along his neck and jaw. Mina bent down and touched his forehead. It was cold. "Sir? Can you hear me?" No answer. He looked injured. She didn't know who he was, but she couldn't just leave him. Not in this weather. She took a deep breath. then dragged him slowly toward the door of her flat. It wasn't easy. He was heavy, and her arms were weak from the long shift. But somehow she got him inside. Rhea opened her eyes slightly. "Who's that?" "Someone who needs help," Mina said. She placed the man near the heater and covered him with her spare blanket. Then she made some tea-only herbs and hot water, but it was all she had. She placed the cup near his hand. He didn't wake up that night. Mina stayed beside him, watching both him and her daughter. Two strangers, one old and one young, both needing care. And somehow she was the one trying to protect them. As the sun began to rise, Mina felt her eyes closing. She hadn't slept. But the world kept turning. She didn't know that her small act of kindness, helping a stranger in the rain, was about to change everything. The sky over New London was gray again. Dirty clouds hung above the tall buildings like a heavy curtain. Cold air came through the broken window of Mina's flat. She wrapped a scarf around Rhea and gave her a warm drink, the man she brought in. Last night was still asleep. His face was calm now, but his skin still looked pale. The strange metal on his neck blinked softly with blue light. Mina had never seen anyone like him before, but he didn't look dangerous. Rhea sat up weakly and looked at the man. "Is he an alien, Mama?" "I don't know," Mina said. "He might be. But he's hurt. We have to help him." "But we don't have much," Rhea said gently. "I know, baby," Mina whispered. "But that doesn't mean we stop being kind." Mina had always believed that. Even when life gave her nothing, she still gave what little she had. A kind word, a warm blanket, a helping hand. Around noon, the man finally opened his eyes. He looked around slowly, his body stiff. Mina stood up and offered him water. "You're safe," she said. "You collapsed outside my building. I brought you in. My name is Mina. This is my daughter, Rhea." He took the water and drank slowly. "Thank you, Mina." His voice was low but clear. He looked at her, then at the room, small, poor, but clean. "You helped me, even though you don't know who I am?" Mina gave a small smile. "You looked like you needed help." "That's all I needed to know." The man nodded slowly. "Most people don't stop for strangers anymore. I'm not most people." He gave a quiet laugh. "No, you're not." Later that evening, after resting, the man stood up and stretched his arms. His movements were careful, like he was still weak. Rhea watched him closely. "Are you better now?" The man smiled gently. "Much better. Thank you, little one. What's your name?" she asked. He paused for a moment. "You can call." "And me, Darren. Are you human?" Rhea asked again, curious. Darren looked at Mina before answering. "Not exactly. I come from a place far away. But I've lived among humans for a long time." Rhea nodded like she understood. "You don't look scary," Mina laughed. "That's because he's not." Darren looked at both of them with kind eyes. "You didn't have to help me, but you did. I won't forget it." Mina shook her head. "You don't owe us anything. Just take care of yourself." Darren didn't say anything more. He looked out the window at the dark streets below. That night, Mina made a simple meal, some rice and boiled vegetables. She gave the biggest portion to Rhea, then some to Darren. "I'll eat later," she said, though her stomach was empty. Darren looked at her. "You haven't eaten all day." "I'm used to it," she replied softly. He didn't argue, but his face showed something, respect, maybe even sadness. After dinner, Rhea went to sleep. Mina sat beside the window, looking out at the city lights. Darren joined her. "You're strong, Mina." She gave a tired smile. "I don't feel strong. I lost my job. I don't know how I'll pay rent next week. My daughter's sick, and the medicine costs more than a month's salary. I'm just trying to survive." "But you still helped a stranger." "Because if we forget kindness," she said, "we forget what makes us human." Darren was silent for a long time. Then he stood. "I have to go now." Mina looked up quickly. "It's dark outside. You should rest. I've rested enough, but thank you. Truly. He walked to the door, then paused and turned around. I can't tell you everything yet, Mina, but I promise this, your kindness will not be forgotten. You will hear from me again. Before she could answer, he stepped outside and disappeared. Into the night. Mina didn't sleep well that night. She kept thinking about Darren. Who was he? Where did he come from? Why did his neck have glowing metal? But more than that, she wondered, would he really come back? The next day was hard. Mina spent hours walking the city streets, looking for any kind of work. She visited cafes, small shops, even cleaning companies. But everyone said the same thing. No. Openings. Try again next month. Sorry, we don't hire people with kids. By the afternoon, her legs were sore and her spirit was low. She returned home to check on Rhea. The fever was worse. Her small body shivered under the blanket. Mina sat beside her, holding her hand. Hang on, baby, I'll find a way. Suddenly, someone knocked on the door. Mina stood up, confused. She wasn't expecting anyone. When she opened the door, she saw a woman in a black coat. Behind her stood a sleek black hovercar, glowing with soft lights. Are you Mina? The woman asked. Yes. My name is Laura. I was sent by the owner of Stellar Flame. Mina blinked. That was a famous new restaurant in the rich district. She had only heard about it on the news. The owner would like to offer you a job, Laura said. Mina's eyes widened. What? Why me? Laura smiled. He says you helped him when no one else would, and he keeps his promises. Mina didn't speak. Her mind was racing. There's a private room for your daughter. A full medical unit. The pay is triple what you made before, and the position starts tomorrow. Mina looked back at Rhea, then at Laura. She didn't know exactly what was happening, but something told her this was only the beginning. Mina stood frozen at the door, staring at the woman in the black coat. A job, she repeated in disbelief. Yes, the woman Laura said calmly. The offer is real. You will work at Stellar Flame Restaurant. A special position is waiting for you. All arrangements have been made. Mina glanced back at Rhea, who was still lying weak on the bed, her forehead warm with fever. Her chest rose and fell slowly. Mina turned back to Laura, her voice unsure. My daughter is very sick. I can't leave her alone. You don't have to, Laura replied. We have a private children's room inside the restaurant. It's quiet, clean, and fully equipped with medical care. A healer will check her every day. Your child will be safe. Mina's eyes filled with tears, but she quickly wiped them away. For the first time in weeks, it felt like hope was knocking at her door. Why are you helping me? She asked quietly. I'm just a waitress. Nothing special. Laura's lips curved into a small smile. The owner believes kindness is rare. When you gave without expecting anything, you became someone worth remembering. The next morning, a hovercar arrived to pick them up. Mina packed a small bag with Rhea's clothes and medicines. She still couldn't believe this was real. Rhea was too weak to speak much, but she looked curious as she was gently lifted into the warm, clean car. As they drove through the city, Mina saw how different the upper levels were. There were clean streets, bright signs, and tall buildings made of glass and light. People wore fine clothes. Air cleaning drones floated peacefully above. It felt like another world. They arrived at Stellar Flame, a silver building shaped like a tall flame rising from the ground. It shimmered in the sunlight, surrounded by peaceful gardens and quiet fountains. Laura led them inside. The air was fresh. Soft music played in the background. Robots moved smoothly through the halls, carrying trays and supplies. The floors sparkled. Mina looked around, eyes wide with wonder. This way, Laura said, guiding them to a small door at the side. They entered a cozy room filled with soft pillows, toys, and a warm bed. A screen on the wall showed peaceful clouds floating across a blue sky. This is for Rhea, Laura said. "She'll rest here while you work. And this is Dr. Erin." A kind-looking woman in a white coat stepped forward. She knelt beside Rhea and smiled. "Hello, sweet girl. Let's take a look at you." Mina held her breath as Dr. Erin began scanning Rhea with a small glowing device. After a few minutes, the doctor stood and nodded. "She's weak, but her condition is stable. With proper care and daily medicine, she will recover." Tears ran down Mina's face again. She had spent so many nights worrying. Now help had come from a place she never expected. Mina changed into the uniform they gave her, simple, black and silver. The fabric was soft and comfortable. When she entered the kitchen, she was stunned. The kitchen looked like something from a space station. Counters lit up when she touched them. The food storage units opened with voice commands. Cooking. Bots moved silently, chopping and stirring with perfect speed. There were 10 human chefs and workers already there, but no one looked tired or angry. Everyone greeted her with respect. "Welcome, Mina," said a short man with bright eyes. "I'm Ren, I'll train you." Mina nodded shyly. "Thank you." Her first task was simple: prepare a fresh fruit dish with help from the robots. She followed instructions, learning quickly. The food was not like anything she had served before. There were ingredients from other planets, blue oranges from Callan, honey sticks from the Vega Gardens, and soft bread made with starlight yeast. Mina worked carefully, her hands steady. She didn't want to disappoint anyone. At lunch, she was surprised when staff were given a full meal: hot soup, roasted vegetables, and crystal water. "You don't have to pay?" she asked. Ren laughed. "Of course not. Our boss believes workers should be treated well." Mina looked down at the tray. The food was fresh, warm, and delicious. It had been days since she had eaten like this. After her shift, Mina returned to Rhea's room. Her daughter was sleeping peacefully, her cheeks a little pinker. Dr. Erin smiled. "She ate well today. Her body is responding to the medicine." Mina sat beside Rhea and gently stroked her hair. "Thank you," she whispered. She still didn't know who owned the restaurant. Laura had not told her. But in her heart, she guessed it was Darren. Only he had seen her when she was at her lowest. Only he had promised to return, and somehow he had. Night, Mina stood on the rooftop garden of the restaurant. The stars above were clear. It was quiet. She thought about how much had changed in just 2 days. One moment, she had nothing. No job, no hope, a sick child, and now she had a job. A warm place. And Rhea was getting better. Her hands shook slightly. Not from fear, but from relief. She didn't know how long this good fortune would last. But for the first time in a long time, she allowed herself to believe. Maybe things were changing. Maybe kindness truly did come back to those who gave it freely. And maybe, just maybe, she was no longer alone in the world. Mina had been working at Stellar Flame for a week now. Each morning, she arrived with Rhea, who smiled more and coughed less every day. The private care room had helped her heal faster than Mina ever imagined. Rhea's fever had gone. Her eyes were brighter, her cheeks full of color again. Mina was still amazed by the restaurant. The kitchen was clean, quiet, and full of helpful machines. The other workers treated her kindly. She never felt looked down upon. She was learning quickly, and her confidence was growing. Even the customers were polite, mostly rich citizens from the upper districts. But there was one question that never left Mina's mind. Who was the owner? No one had seen him. No one even knew his name. The staff simply called him the founder. Whenever someone asked, they got the same answer. He built this place for people who deserve second chances. He doesn't like the spotlight. He's always watching, but in a good way. Some said he was a genius chef. Others believed he was a rich trader from another star system. A few even joked that he was an alien in disguise. Mina never laughed at that part. She remembered Darren, his strange eyes, the glowing metal on his neck, the way he had spoken. He had promised to return. Deep inside, she believed he was the one behind it all. One evening, after closing time, Mina stayed late to clean the counter. Everyone else had left. The kitchen lights were dim, the restaurant silent. Just as she finished wiping the last table, she heard the soft sound of footsteps behind her. She turned around. A man stood there, dressed in a long dark coat. His eyes were calm, and a soft blue light blinked faintly from the side of his neck. It was him. "Darren," she whispered. He gave a small smile. "Hello, Mina." She walked closer, heart beating fast. "It's you, isn't it? This restaurant, it's yours?" He nodded slowly. "Yes, after you helped me that night, I began planning. I already had resources, but I wanted to build something meaningful, something human, something kind." Mina's eyes were wide with disbelief. "But why me?" Darren stepped forward and sat on one of the chairs. "You gave help without asking anything in return. You risked your own comfort to help a stranger. That's rare not just on Earth, but across the galaxy." He looked down at his hands. "I am not fully human, Mina. My people. We are called the Thali. We can feel emotional energy. Joy, sorrow, fear, love, and kindness. That night, when you touched my hand and brought me inside, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time." Mina sat down slowly across from him, listening carefully. Darren continued. "Many of my kind left Earth after the war. But I stayed. I wanted to understand humans more. I walked through your cities. I saw pain, hunger, cruelty. But then I met you." He smiled again. "You reminded me why I loved this planet." Mina didn't know what to say. All this time, she had been working in a place built by someone who wasn't even from Earth. Yet, she had never felt more cared for. "Everything here," he said, waving his hand gently, "was designed to give good people a chance to grow. You're not just a worker here, Mina. You're part of something greater." She looked down, her voice soft. "I was just a tired woman with a sick child. I didn't think I was anything special." Darren shook his head. "You are. And you'll see that more in the days to come." The next day, strange things began happening. A tall man in a suit came to the restaurant and spoke with the kitchen staff. He asked questions about the food, the payments, and the safety systems. Later, 2 officers from the city's trade division entered. They said they were there for a routine check, but their tone was sharp. The staff looked nervous. No one had done anything wrong, but the tension in the air was clear. When Mina passed by the dining area, she overheard something. "Someone from the lower zones works here," one officer said. "That doesn't look good on reports." "She was fired from a diner last week." "That's not a good background," the other added. Mina's heart sank. She realized someone from her past, maybe her old boss, was trying to ruin this new opportunity for her. She went to Laura in the break room. "Are they trying to shut us down?" Laura nodded. "Someone is sending reports. False claims. They're saying the owner is hiding, that the business is not registered properly." "But that's not true," Mina said. "Everything here is clean. It's legal." "I know," Laura said. "But the inspectors don't care about the truth. They care about power." Mina looked around. Everyone was quiet. The same fear she had felt when she lost her job now returned. She walked to the back of the restaurant and found Darren standing near the delivery station. "They're trying to destroy this place," she said. "I know," he replied calmly. "Can't you stop them?" Darren turned to her. "Yes, but I have to do it the right way. I've stayed hidden to protect myself. But maybe it's time to show them who I really am." Mina looked into his eyes. "Will that be dangerous?" "For me, maybe," he said. "But not for you. I promise to help you, Mina, and I never break promises." That night, Darren called a meeting. He stood before the entire staff in the dining hall. Rhea sat near Mina, her small fingers wrapped around her mother's hand. "I am the founder of Stellar Flame," Darren said clearly. And I am not from Earth. The room fell silent. I come from the Thali people. I have lived among you for 10 years. I've seen the pain and the beauty of your world. I created this place to remind everyone what humans are capable of when they choose kindness. He stepped forward. Now someone is trying to take this place down, but I will not hide anymore. He pressed a button on the side of his neck. A small hologram appeared, an official seal from the Galactic Alliance. His voice echoed louder. I am a registered ambassador of the Thali Council. Under the laws of interplanetary trade, this business is fully protected. Everyone stared, stunned. Some smiled. Others clapped softly. Mina looked down at Rhea, who was smiling up at her. I told you he wasn't scary, Rhea whispered. Mina laughed through her tears. The news about Darren spread fast. By morning, the holoscreens across the city showed a picture of him with the title, Alien Ambassador Owns Secret Restaurant in New London. Some people were shocked, some were curious. Others were angry. In the richer districts, many customers refused to return. We don't eat food made by aliens, one rich man said on the news. It's not natural. But others came in larger numbers, humans, aliens, and mixed families. They said Stellar Flame was the only place where they felt welcome. The restaurant became even busier. Every table was full. Mina worked harder than ever. She helped train new staff, guided younger waiters, and made sure every dish was served with care. Rhea, now almost fully recovered, spent her time in the children's room drawing pictures of stars and smiling suns. But not everyone was happy. One cold morning, Mina stepped outside the restaurant to take a short break. She walked around the corner to buy warm tea from a street vendor. As she waited, she heard a sharp voice behind her. Well, look who it is. She turned. It was Mr. Holtz, her old manager from the diner. He wore his usual brown coat and sour expression. Mina felt her stomach twist. What do you want? He smirked. I saw you on the news. Fancy place you got there. Cooking for aliens. Now are you? Mina stayed quiet. You should have stayed in your place. You think you're better than the rest of us now? She replied calmly, I never thought I was better. I just wanted to take care of my daughter. Holtz stepped closer, his voice low. I sent the first report. Told the inspectors you were working for someone illegal. I knew if I couldn't have peace, you shouldn't either. Mina's hands shook slightly, but she kept her voice strong. I didn't hurt you. I just wanted a chance. You embarrassed me, he hissed, and I'll make sure you lose this job too. He turned and walked away. Mina stood there for a long moment, her tea forgotten. The past was trying to pull her down again, but she wouldn't let it. She returned to the restaurant and went straight to Darren. Darren listened quietly as Mina told him everything. When she finished, he nodded. Holtz is a bitter man. He has no power here, Mina, but others are starting to listen to people like him. Lies can grow faster than truth. What should we do? Mina asked. He walked to the window and looked out at the busy street. We don't fight lies with anger. We show them the truth. We make this place stronger, kinder, unshakable. But what if they try to shut us down again? She asked. And looked at her with calm eyes. Then we'll rise again, just like you did. Later that week, inspectors returned. This time they brought 3 tall guards and a serious-looking officer named Relic. He had silver badges on his shoulders and a cold stare. We're here to perform a full investigation, Relic said loudly in front of the customers. We've received complaints of health risks and unauthorized tech. Darren met them at the door, his voice polite but firm. You have no right to disrupt business during hours. All records are available. Please come after closing time. We have orders, Relic said. Mina stepped forward. You're scaring the customers. One of the guards looked at her and said, maybe she's part of the problem. Before anyone could speak, Rhea appeared in the hallway. She had come too. Give her mother a picture. She had drawn a smiling star with the words, My mama is my hero. The moment Relic saw the little girl, he stopped. His expression softened for a second. He cleared his throat and turned to Darren. "We will return tomorrow. Keep everything ready." They left without causing damage, but the warning was clear. That night, the restaurant was quiet. The team met in the dining hall. Some looked worried. Others looked angry. "They're trying to scare us," said Ren, the cook. "They want us to quit," added Laura. Mina stood up. "They're doing this because they know we're different. Because we're helping people who never got chances before. But we can't stop now. If we do, they win." Darren nodded. "Tomorrow they'll return, and we'll show them everything. No fear. Only truth." The next day, Mina arrived early. She helped clean every surface. She double-checked the kitchen, machines, and updated the records. Ria helped fold napkins and placed her drawings on the walls. When the inspectors returned, they found a place shining like never before. They scanned the machines. They tested the food. They interviewed every staff member. Relic called Mina into the office. He looked at her file. "You used to work at a diner. You were fired for bringing your child." "Yes," she answered. "I had no other choice." "Now, you're working for an alien?" She looked him in the eye. "I'm working for someone who gave me a chance when no one else would. He helped my daughter. He helped me believe in myself again." Relic closed the file and stood up. "That's not illegal." "Not yet." Mina stayed silent. He walked to the door, then paused. "Your daughter's drawings. They're beautiful," Mina smiled. "Thank you." Later that afternoon, the inspectors left. No fines, no warnings. Just a short report. Business cleared. All systems legal, owner verified. The staff cheered. Mina hugged Ria. Darren stood quietly, his hands behind his back, watching the celebration with a small smile. Holtz's attempt to ruin her had failed. Kindness, once again, had won. The mood inside Stellar Flame was light again. The staff smiled more. The customers laughed louder. Even the robots in the kitchen seemed to move with extra energy. The inspectors were gone. The business was safe. But for Mina, something was still not right. Ria's fever had come back the night before. It wasn't strong, but it was worrying. Dr. Erin said her body was still weak from the pollution she had been exposed to in the lower districts. She needs full healing. The doctor had said, not just medicine. She needs a clean environment, strong care, and something our human machines can't always give. Rest from pain in every part of her body. Mina had nodded silently, holding back tears. She thought this place had saved her daughter already. But it wasn't over yet. That evening, after closing, Mina stood outside the restaurant and looked at the stars. They twinkled gently above New London's silver towers. She hugged her arms around herself and whispered, "I just want her to be okay." "You've done everything right," said a voice behind her. She turned and saw Darren walking toward her. His long coat moved softly with the wind. His metal neck implant gave off a low blue light. "She's sick again," Mina said. "I'm scared, Darren. I thought we had fixed it." "She's strong, like her mother," Darren said kindly. "But you're right. Ria doesn't need another pill. She needs something more powerful." Mina looked at him. "What do you mean?" Darren didn't answer with words. Instead, he placed a small silver bracelet in her hand. It had glowing lines that pulsed with light. "What's this?" she asked. "This is a healing band," he said. "We Thali use it only for those we love. It works with the mind and heart. It connects to the body's natural energy and rebuilds it. But it can only be used once." Mina stared at the bracelet. "Why are you giving this to me?" "Because you saved me," Darren said softly. "And because Ria is special." Mina blinked away tears. "Will it hurt her?" "No," he said. "But she needs to sleep inside the healing room while the band does its work. It takes 3 days. You won't be able to talk to her during that time." Mina hesitated. 3 days? No contact? What if something went wrong? But when she looked into Darren's eyes, she saw something calm, something peaceful, something true. Okay, she said finally. Let's do it. The healing room was deep inside the restaurant, hidden behind a door that opened only with Darren's fingerprint. The walls inside were made of smooth white crystal. The room was silent, warm, bright. In the center stood a round bed made of glowing glass. Mina carried Rhea in her arms. The little girl was sleepy but smiled weakly. Mama, I'm not scared. Mina kissed her forehead. You're very brave, my sweet girl. Darren gently placed the healing band on Rhea's wrist. The lights on it turned green. She will sleep now, he said. When she wakes, her sickness will be gone. Rhea's eyes slowly closed. Her small chest rose and fell in rhythm with the soft light around her. Mina didn't want to leave her, but the machine hummed softly, creating a wall of protective energy between them. I'll wait right outside, Mina whispered. Then the door closed. The next 3 days were the hardest of Mina's life. She worked during the day, but her heart was heavy. She kept looking at the healing room door, hoping it would open early. It never did. Her coworkers tried to comfort her. Ren brought her extra tea. Laura stayed with her during breaks. Even the kitchen robots printed happy messages like, "Stay strong, and healing is happening." But still, Mina felt lost without Rhea's laugh, her small voice, her drawings. One night she asked Darren, "Is she feeling pain?" "No," he said. "She's dreaming, safe and deep." The machine takes her to a memory garden, a peaceful place built from her happiest moments. What will she see there? Mina asked. "Your face," he said gently. "Your voice. The songs you sang. The times you held her close. All of it." Mina smiled through her tears. On the 3rd morning, just as the sun touched the highest towers of New London, the healing room door finally opened. Mina rushed forward. The light inside had faded. The crystal bed was clear. And there, sitting up slowly, was Rhea. Her skin was clear, her eyes bright. She looked around and smiled. "Mama," she said softly, "I had the best dream." Mina ran to her and wrapped her arms around her. She cried and laughed at the same time. "You're okay," she whispered. "You're okay." Rhea hugged her tightly. "I feel strong now, like a star." Mina turned to Darren. He stood near the door, watching them quietly. "Thank you," she said. "I don't have words." "You don't need them," Darren replied. "Rhea is the future, and the future is worth healing." That afternoon, the restaurant threw a small celebration. No big party, just warm food, candles on the tables, and soft music. Rhea wore a silver dress gifted by Laura. She twirled near the tables, laughing with the workers. Customers clapped when Mina stepped out to serve. Many had heard about Rhea's recovery. They smiled and said kind words. "You're the heart of this place," one woman told Mina. "Your story changed everything." Mina looked around. She had gone from being a fired waitress to a teacher in the kitchen. From a hopeless mother to a symbol of strength. And now, with her daughter healthy, she felt a power inside her that she had never known before. Not the kind of power that controls others, but the power of hope. Later that night, Mina stood with Darren near the rooftop garden. "I'll never forget what you did," she said. "I didn't heal her," he said. "You did. With your courage, with your love." They stood quietly, watching the stars. "Your people," Mina asked softly, "do they believe in humans?" "Some do," Darren said. "Some don't, but they will." "Why?" "Because of people like you." The city of New London was changing. The silver towers reached higher. The streets shone cleaner, and people began to smile more often. But the greatest change was not in the buildings or the lights. It was in the hearts of the people. At the heart of this change stood Mina. Months had passed since Rhea's healing. The little girl was now strong and healthy, playing and laughing like any child should. Her eyes sparkled with new dreams, and her voice sang songs of hope. Mina's job at Stellar Flame had grown too. She was no longer just a waitress. She had become a leader, teaching new workers how to serve with kindness and respect. She shared her story often, inspiring others who had lost hope. Darren remained a quiet presence, always watching, always helping when needed. The secret of his true nature was now known by the staff, and instead of fear, there was respect and admiration. One sunny morning, Mina and Rio walked through the city's Central Park. Children played under tall trees, their laughter filling the air. People from many worlds mingled peacefully. Rio ran ahead, chasing butterflies. "Mama!" she called, her face bright. Mina smiled and followed. Near the fountain, a group of people gathered. There were humans and aliens alike, all waiting for something. A large holoscreen lit up. The face of Darren appeared. "Friends," he began, his voice calm and warm. "Today marks a new chapter. Stellar Flame has become more than a restaurant. It is now a place of learning, healing, and community." The crowd cheered softly. "We will open new centers across the city to help those who need a second chance. We will provide food, care, and jobs for everyone, no matter where you come from or what you have faced." Mina felt tears in her eyes. After the speech, Darren approached Mina and Ria. "You have changed this city, Mina, not because of what I gave you, but because of who you are." Mina looked at him, feeling shy. "It was never just me," she said. "It was all of us, working together." Ria ran up and hugged them both. "Can I help too?" she asked, her eyes shining. Darren smiled. "Of course, little star, you already have." Days turned into weeks, and the new centers began to open. Mina helped train workers, shared her knowledge, and visited the sick and hungry. She remembered the night she was fired from the diner, carrying her sick daughter in her arms, unsure of the future. Now she stood tall. Her past struggles were no longer chains but wings. One evening, Mina sat with Darren on the rooftop garden. "Do you think the world will really change?" she asked. "It already is," he replied. "Because kindness is a seed. Once planted, it grows forever." Mina smiled, watching the stars above. "Thank you," she whispered, "for everything." Darren looked at her with gentle eyes. "No, Mina, thank you for reminding me what it means to be human." And so, a struggling waitress and her sick daughter became the heart of a new future. A future where kindness, hope, and courage were the strongest powers of all.